Germany's heritage of Counter-Strike greatness cries out for an heir worthy of its legacy. Gob B was the last mastermind to lead that proud nation to a major. And with Big, he seeks to develop a new core to similar heights. Tabson is the star talent of this crew, and spent last year elevating them to the status of dangerous underdog. Next is the erratic but undeniably talented wildcard Big relies upon to provide them with the requisite firepower to make a splash. Newcomer Smuya is the undisciplined but exciting prospect Gob must shape into Europe's next star if Big are to again soar to the heights of international playoff finishes. A focused hierarchy, precision timings, detailed plans. Classics never go out of fashion, and Big embody the spirit of tactical Counter-Strike in a new era of play. The home crowd awaits a favorite to cheer for, and Big seeks to fill those mighty shoes.
And they've certainly started strong. They managed to get themselves to the grand final stage, but already NaVi do manage to find that lead once again. This best of 5 gets interesting now as NaVi hold 2-1 over Big. Before we break it down ourselves, we have a rare opportunity. Trace has gone backstage and looks like he's found an analyst or two.
In fact, I have, Alex. You are quite certainly onto something. I'm standing here with the analyst from Big Clan, and right away, I just want to go ahead and get this one out there. Are you the real coach, or is Legia?
I mean, we kind of share the coaching role. I mean, I'm with the team while we practice. He's behind the team because he's like more motivational, and of course he has a lot of in-depth, but I'm like more in the background coaching the team while practicing, and he's like behind the guys at the stage.
So doing all the real hard work. Now, speaking of real hard work, let's talk about train. What did you notice with your team that needs to change going into Inferno?
Yeah, I mean, we had a weak CT side again. I mean, we always had like troubles on CT side. We had a lot of like fixed T side strats, so it didn't work out. I think we hit a lot of times B where we maybe should have like more faked it, but I mean, they played really good. It's just really hard to play on T side train if they like stand really good, if Simple hits their shots. And going into Inferno, we just need to play our game again, what we showed on the other matches, and we're just really confident that we win Inferno.
Last question I have for you, man. I'm going to let you get back to your team. A player like Smuya, he's a little younger and seeming a little bit more emotional when it comes to losing rounds or even having that sort of impact. How do you guys go about maybe taming the situation? Is that the best way to say it, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, there again, like Legia comes in there. I mean, he can give great motivation speeches. We just try to motivate him again. We say, keep your head up. This is like your second big stage that you were on. Don't worry, we got your back. Just like try to stay calm, perform, and that's basically what we try to tell him.
Well, I'm going to let you do just that with your boys. I think all of Cologne is rallying behind Big Clan right about now. And with that, of course, Alex and the boys are going to try to make some sense of this before we head into Inferno.
That's the plan. Thank you very much. That's Kakafu, of course, who actually gives us a little bit of insight as to where that T side disappeared from Big, just 2 rounds from them.
Yeah, Matt also got the answer to his question. Coach or cheerleader seems like cheerleader, man.
Yes, he definitely was bouncing up and down and having a good time, that's for sure. Legia, the 6th man behind Big Clan on that stage. But let's focus on the Counter-Strike, because a 16-10 scoreline and another, once again, seems to be a recurring trend. Very close first half, followed by a sweep in one direction or the other.
That's a 16-10 with both pistols though, right? So the fact of the matter is that's a big step in the right direction. They're able to buoy their frags early with a lot of eco mobs. It wasn't working out for NaVi with these force buys. But once they got the ball rolling and Simple has turned it on here, I said I wanted more from him, and on train he definitely delivered. That was one of the positive signs, really clicking with the AWP here, and the clutch is going in the favor. This is with no armor. This was from a late buy round call because they didn't get the pause in time, and Edward luckily able to convert there. Otherwise it could have been real shaky for this NaVi roster in this map.
I think there were a couple of NaVi heroes. I mean, Electronic at one point just walked out onto the site and essentially just made it a 5v3 to start it off.
That was the same round, right? And that could have been a huge issue for NaVi. You're 4-0 down, you scraped some sort of a buy, didn't have enough time. You called the timeout too late. Luckily, Electronic sneaks around, and even though he got a couple of entry kills, it still ended up leaving Edward in a 1v2. So that round really saved NaVi early on to just from the game of getting out of hand.
Yeah, I've just received word, interestingly enough as well, as we can see the final round coming in, that Smooya is already sat back down in his seat. No one else on stage. He's actually just straight back in and is warming up for this next map. A little bit of insight as to how he's looking to try and get his head in the game.
It's interesting, though. You don't really want to go outside the realms of what your normal approach is, especially with a big stage match like this. I don't want him to be in his head thinking he's not performing well enough, because he's doing his job. It's a team game, right? And the fact of the matter is, he was still in that train game, second on the scoreboard for his team. Godby leading the way. Sure, like I said, had a lot of eco frags early, which kind of, you know, inflate that. But still, having a good game is fantastic for the in-game leader.
And as much as I'd like to continue to reflect on train, we do have additional time, so I'm going to ask this question anyway, just because, of course, then the third map of best of 5 players get an additional length of time for their break. But so I messaged Smooya last night, not just telling him to go to bed. I think it was my first message, but also he replied saying, "Yeah, I'm just really mad. I'm not playing the same way I know I'm capable of." Now, what do you make of that conversation? Because sure, you're probably not going to play the same as you play in your bedroom in an online Pro League game. I mean, that can't be an expectation that he can be coming into this.
Well, also to be fair, you're not playing the same level of opposition, right?
Yeah.
It's not just whether you hit your shot or you miss your shot. It's the other team is making it more difficult for you. You're being forced out of position. Your windows are smaller. The time that you have to hit that shot or to adjust, right? So I think all of those things together affect performance.
And you get out of that mindset of, I know I can do better, or is that not, that sounds healthy to you, Chad?
Look, it's good to want to do better. That's a fantastic thing. And his mindset is in the right place. He's not resting on his laurels at all. He wants to prove himself in this environment. But when you do get on the stage, it's like the one true leveling ground, right? LAN is already that one step, but then being in front of all these people, watching you make potential mistakes, 15,000 people seeing you whiff a shot, it's a lot more pressure.
I think the problem is, you know, when you're 18 in esports, and you're a professional and you have no idea what that means. If you're 18 in football, you've been through 11 years probably by that time of being in teams, having coaches, different, you know, so you're groomed into how you need to act in practice, in official games. You're taught how to deal with pressure and everything. This is just a guy who, up to, you know, a month or two ago, he was locked in a contract, wasn't sure what was going to happen, or if he's going to take a break off of playing or not, and then, bam, here you go, play on the big stage in front of 15,000 people, you know. I think we're getting there in terms of organizations actually putting more work into how to handle players' personalities and all of that, but it's no easy feat, that's for sure.
With NaVi's stats up on screen as well, this is for the series, but for the map in particular, something jumped off the page for me. Simple had 11 multi-kill rounds. 11. I think that's one of the highest numbers I've seen in a regulation time finish.
Yeah, you could notice how aggressive he was with that AWP, and we've seen those lovely flick shots on that CT side, which is what we want from him. You know, he wasn't really taking over the game on his own by any regard, but he was getting multi-kills, which, you know, makes it much easier for everybody else to mop up. And
while I'm listing off some stats as well, something I brought up in previous, I think it was the semi, if not the quarterfinal from Big, is their flash assists. Again, a ridiculous number from them, 11 in comparison to the 5 of NaVi. This does seem to be a win condition for them, is having those good nades and leveling the playing ground.
Yeah, on Dust 2 it was 15-1, so that tells you the disparity when it came to that particular map. But I mean, that's all great, and Big has played this style even before, but obviously with Kiev and Legia in the team, you know, you had even less firepower. Now you can see when you have guys like Smooya and Tizian, and more than anything, Nex actually playing a lot better, you can see how that style makes it work on a much, much higher level, because you know, you can have the best flashes in the world. If your players still can't make it happen, then you're not going to get really far. So I think the addition of players is what allows Godby really to exert his full force, so to speak, when it comes to in-game leading.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that Godby's clearly found the right tools now. It was a big question whether or not, you know, he was going to be able to complete it with what he had previously. Legend status was an achievement. This definitely is probably one of the biggest, if not best, feather in their cap for now.
Sure, yeah. Shall
we start talking about Inferno? Anything else to be covered before we start venturing into our next map?
Maybe there's something to talk about, Alex.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What would that be? A certain boy's birthday?
Yeah, maybe there's a birthday boy on the stage with us right now.
Yes, you do every year. There's plenty of traditions in ESL One Cologne, and one of them is I get to hang out with my Serbian friend here, and he celebrates his birthday. So how old are you today?
26.
26, you're an old man now.
You still eating cake, or?
Yeah, you still eating cake, bro?
We weren't going to pie you, so that's the Jason tradition, but we sorted it out.
I started sweating straight away.
You're like,
no, we got you covered. And it's even got your name on it. Well, your alias.
That's beautiful. There you go, bro. Congratulations.
We'll leave this for later.
Yeah, actually, it looks pretty good. They're not pulling any punches. Gorgeous stuff.
It's getting better every year.
Yeah, and I even met a fan. I asked to take a picture, and he was like, can we sing a song? Oh, hang on, I think they're trying. Yeah, nearly there.
Thank you.
You You tried, guys, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Janko. Every year he comes to Cologne, and every year you get to celebrate another year.
It's a pretty cool spot to celebrate your birthday, you know, 15,000 people watching great Counter-Strike. I think it's not too bad, Alex.
Yeah, it's not a bad gift every single time, and this certainly has been a gift for the fans as well. Big. Now stepping into another arena. Let's focus on it, because Inferno is coming up, and this is a map that I can't help but feel should work well with the tools that Big have at their disposal. Where are the seeds of doubt coming in your regard?
Well, we're talking about that bloody utility so much. There's no map like Inferno where you can put it to great use. We saw it yesterday versus FaZe. The problem is NaVi, by default, they like to stretch rounds out a lot. So you're not going to have a lot of it left unless you take risks and, you know, save it specifically for those late round scenarios. If anything, you want to see NaVi change up the pace a little bit, at least early on, so that you give Big, you have to force them to use it early on, because if you allow them to save it, you're going to have a very difficult position for it.
Right, and I mean, I guess this NaVi economy discussion all over again.
Yeah, but let's just rehash the Inferno games that Big have had in this tournament thus far. Because there was Renegades they played first on Inferno, and that was an overtime game which they were able to win 19-17, so a very close game there. Then they played against the Brazilians, MIBR. That was double overtime, 22-20. They barely scraped through that one. But then the FaZe one was where they blew them out of the water 16-6. So it's quite a contrast from those group stage matches compared to an arena day where, no, it was still a group stage match. But
and I think this is where I just turn to Janko, and I'm aware he doesn't necessarily pull his punches, and I would suggest perhaps you had some criticisms towards FaZe in that game.
Yeah, I think obviously Big played a great game, but for me, you know, watching that game, after GOB won the 1v2 on the eco, you could just see FaZe crumble, because you have to remember Train, they also lost an anti-eco late on in the game that cost them that map. So it was actually very, you know, it was a shame seeing FaZe crumble so much, because it could have been a great game otherwise, and Big was just mopping the floor with them. So I think that was, you know, a bit FaZe helping them in such a scoreline. I think the game would have been close. Big could have won it either way, and you can't take anything away from them, the fact that FaZe have, you know, crumbled so much. I don't think you're going to see same from NaVi, though, this time around, right? On a map like Inferno, they've proven actually to have great mental fortitude with this lineup after all the rumors and everything, and we've even seen it in some of these games. They were able to bounce back after losing anti-equals.
yeah, which is surprising considering how fiery they can be, isn't it?
Yeah. We do have an opportunity as well, just to get our head around how those CT setups are going to look.
Sure.
Chad,
Let me just bust it. I'm going to lean over Janko here. We do have the maps on here, and we have the players, and we can talk about some tendencies that the teams like to really look at, and they have similar CT sides. I guess what we'll do is we'll look at Big first, because that's where our last port of call was. They're going to play Smooya over towards Banana with the AWP, and his backup man is going to be of Tizian. Now, he can get cheated back over towards that A bomb site to back up on that arch side, and surprisingly, Tabson actually does the secondary AWPing on the CT side, okay?
Right.
GOB does it on the T side on this map, and then more so Tabson, he's going to be over towards that arch side. Next is a very big swing player here. He's kind of just getting it done, whereas GOB is more the balcony / pit anchor playing in this part of the map. Both teams have very similar approaches on their CT sides. If they can set Smooya up, they'll leave him there on his own, and they'll rotate all the members over towards the A bomb site. Let's see if I can make this bad boy work. They'll move Tizian over. Hey, look at that. And they'll stack over towards that A bomb site. NaVi do a very similar thing as well when they set Simple up towards B, and this can be very powerful as long as your AWP player knows to fall back to lines and not re-pick.
Well, I mean, Smooya was actually doing a fantastic job. He didn't have necessarily the highest scoreline, but when he was left alone on B, he would take one or two every single time on there, execute towards the site. It does seem to be quite a hard skill to perfect.
Definitely, and I think versus FaZe, obviously a bit of a different scenario, but the game where you could really see it unfold was versus MIBR in that decider group stage match. I think MIBR was a bit slow to catch on what Big was doing, leaving Smooya alone, stacking 4A, and you know, whenever that happens, you don't need to think about, oh, is he alone or is the guy with him? You need to chase him away, because if you don't do that, there's a good chance that he's alone. Then you're running into a stack, and no matter how strong your execute might be on A, when there's 4 players there, it's very difficult to break that defense.
There's probably another factor that we need to touch on NaVi's game from yesterday on Inferno, where they were able to, really put up big numbers, and that was off of Zeus having his best performance in a very long time. To expect that to happen again, you're going to be kidding yourself. I think, that is an anomaly. It's a blip on the radar. I'm not saying Zeus won't have an impact here. I'm just not expecting him to get the 30 kills. Sure. That's where you need the other members of this team to make sure that they're online, because I'm actually giving Big more than a fair chance of taking this map. This is where they made their mark at the PGL Major. They were kind of revolutionizing, I suppose, suppose I said that in the loosest possible way back then on how to play the map. And they had some really good strategies based off of that. So we know that the T side is there. We just gotta have to make sure they can tighten up that CT side and not get bullied.
Yeah, absolutely. Your final thoughts, Janko. We're about to be jumping into Inferno. Last words you want to get said before we jump in?
I think for Big, absolutely, you know, staying disciplined in some of the rounds because NaVi, they force a lot, they go for a lot of contact plays, they're very good at trading effectively, so you need to keep your concentration at its highest. They can always grind their way back into a round.
We'll find out. Big, given a good chance by our analysts. Will they really take us all the way? We'll head over to your casters, Sadakis and Henry G. They're fed and watered and ready to roll.
Well, a good conversation about utility on Inferno because we saw Big yesterday were able to hold on to theirs and really force FaZe into awkward situations late in the round where they were against the clock.
Absolutely so. That was a big talking point indeed, and Inferno lends itself to that sort of play. If you can hold on to the smokes, the incendiaries right down to the last few seconds, you can deny some big executions as Zeus. Not going to get super aggressive there, but it looks like 5 players are heading towards the B side of the map here. They have 2 smokes, so uses towards Spawn and the Coffins, but tabseN will steal away the first kill. Reads the play that aggression will come in once Banana was taken. They'll get an early 5 versus 4, but my God, that is absolutely stunning from Electronic as he blocks 3 of them away.
I'm not going to say anything. What can you say? I mean, that was ridiculous. All 3
Simple.
shots were so good. Simple knows the next has gone by easy. Hard shot, believe it or not, from the backside to hit the head like that, especially with the USP, but took his time to line it up. And with all that information, just tabseN that remains. Simple already spotting him toward the bottom side of mid.
Oh, that movement's like parkour.
I know, that was pretty cool. Got around the corner, gets another one as well. So Electronic and Simple, your 2 stars to start off well. And despite the early pick from tabseN, couldn't get anything done.
Oh, a bit of free running there from Simple to get away. Fantastic play, though, from Electronic. What a star he's turning into now. Really coming into his own. These 2 kills, I thought, that's amazing. How's he pulled that one off? Then he gets a 3rd. All 1-bullet shots, that's absolutely incredible. How calm was that? And then Simple, the great positioning towards that underpass area. Takes down the penultimate player, and no bomb is planted. It's another situation where Big are just on pistols here. tabseN gets some Kevlar. They've got 1 smoke and a flashbang. But this is quite common these days, that smoke towards T-steps and that Molotov in front of it. So even if you try and commit past the smoke, you're going to take a lot of damage. And in terms of rifles, just 2 of them. Simple Electronic, the players to get frags in the previous round. And 3 SMGs, of course, to go with them. They haven't got a kit, which is surprising, but shouldn't be an issue.
Simple trying to catch them in the cross. For the bottom of the T-stairs, doesn't get much more than a bit of damage down on the tabseN. I say it, but he's down to 23. That nade will get a bit more. Excuse me, it's a flash. Get my eyes checked, Henry. Give me those spectacles, would you?
You used to wear some.
I know.
All gone now.
Nah, they're in the hotel room. I just always forget them every morning.
Well, less than a minute, and not really much being accomplished here by Big. They still have their 1 smoke. They've taken so much damage in getting some basic banana control. They're not even going to use it, but look at things. Back towards middle they go. Remember, no kit. So the bomb does somehow go down. It could be a little bit more interesting than perhaps we expect. Here's the smoke towards the sights. God, B does not have a flash to go with it, so they can't exactly pounce on the site and take vision away for a split second. We're going to try and plant within that smoke.
Back out, Flamey elects to stay forward. Pays off for him as well as he gets 3, swaps over to the pistol, looking for his forward. He's got that. Smooya would complete the ace, but he's preoccupied, and Zeus doesn't want to wait around for it. Takes the shot, gets the kill. 2-0 for NaVi.
1 map away from winning ESL One Cologne. It's been a great year for NaVi. Much better than 2017. Seems like things are starting to work out for them. Electronic coming in, boasted more firepower. We weren't really convinced at the start of the year, but it's been getting progressively better every single tournament.
And you have to remember as well, when Simple first came into this team and Guardian was still on board, they won ESL One New York in 2016. We thought this is the beginning of something, and it just went catastrophically wrong from there.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's one of the best looking NaVi lineups we've seen. This is fantastic. Another final here. And with just Glocks and PT-50s, no armor, you would assume a 3-0 is coming in. Just to reiterate, this is the 4th map of this best of 5. NaVi need this to close things out.
Zeus up to the stairs, timing it well, spots everyone. Not a lot of damage applied, despite that the UMP was almost pre-firing the angle. Simple, meanwhile, takes the initiative to push back down mid.
There it is, 3 kills found, maybe a plant here, but Zeus is hot on their heels, but the smoke is decent. That's going to guarantee them a plant now. As Tizian will go down, it's fine. They're not expecting tons of kills here, but that's a nice little cash injection. That's pretty much as good as that round's ever going to get. 1 kill and a bomb plant, extra money. But the 3-0 for NaVi, and they've got a bit of a bonus situation. They've got an MP7 and a UMP for the next round. This normally provides aggression for CTs in these particular rounds. You know, that money could be a little bit of a problem for Big, but considering they've got the plant, they'll be absolutely fine. They even get the AWP out on Smooya. The analysts were commenting that he came out very early to the stage. He hasn't looked his absolute best at Elwyn, so he's had a bad game at all, but it looked like he was getting in his own head a bit. Lagia was trying to focus on him and try and raise his spirits a little bit. So he goes to the T-side AWP. That is going to be a difficult procedure, but he's actually up against Flamey, who's the secondary AWP of NaVi. Not simple. Smooya waits for the second middle push here. It's Tabson to take the first bit of damage towards Banana, and that's that incendiary I was talking about. You have to fall back or we'll get pushed and taken down. Good grenade in response, though. Lots of damage there, 52.
Both of them equally tagged up, though. We're on 48, taps in those flames early on. So we're seeing already that NaVi are using utility much sooner. Still have a ton with them, though. 4 smokes in a minute. But they can deploy only 1 player over toward B. Simple's gonna hold it alone. Despite that he doesn't have the AWP this time, it's Flamey that does. Tizian, meanwhile, starts to work out, but he has to be cautious of the railing. Doesn't overextend. Bounced in from an upward angle. Did he spot that? Is he aware? Bomb left open in middle, but they have mid wall, so it wouldn't have been spotted. Smooya, good movement, gets across, he's on top of quad.
Yeah, that little sequence is harder than it looks. The boost up can be a bit awkward. Smooya now on the ledges, does make a footstep there as he drops down, gets flashed. He has got the high impact frags. Looking for that flick.
Oh, man. So, if they can lure one out from library, he's perfectly positioned. The hard part is they've got to get out from apartments in doing that. Flash off, he jumps away. Can't get by. Next does get the kill on Electronic. Flamey finds the return. They don't have to commit. The smoke's down. Oh! And they have to get the kill in the corner. Smooya, he gets off the ledge and goes for it. That is exactly what you were talking about with impact, because now it allows the bomb to be planted, and only just with 3 seconds.
I think they might even save this one. We'll see. Bomb has only just gone down. Let's see if they can find any frags. But players in the world towards bottom of second middle. It looks like an absolute save. That came right down to the wire. It might not seem like it, but there was, what, 6 seconds when they finally commit to the site. If 1 kill comes in there from the bomb side player, that was enough. That was going to be winning the round. But Smooya, close range AWP, nails the shot, preempts it. And their bomb cannot be denied. This will be the first round of the board for Big here. The 3 players, maybe not quite 3, will survive. It's going to be 2 in the end. Flamey needs to make sure he holds on to this AWP. A bit of a weird round there. Simple's the main AWP. Flamey was using it this round. They will save 2 of those weapons, though.
So they make the AWP relevant. And Smooya gets the one that matters.
Indeed.
3-1, money on either side again, and it has gone Simple's direction. He throws an M4 back to his teammate.
Here's the shot. You can see it. Just nice awareness. Zeus knew what he had to do there, holding up, just trying to deny the bomb as best he could, but Smooya, lovely shot. That's what he needs. Just 1 kill in the round, that was it, but that wins him the round. Aggression, by the looks of things, Medwin and Simple here. He's now got the AWP.
Decent deep Molotov, because they sent 3 to Banana early on. Flamey was going to support this. They wanted to get Simple in position on the AWP. Edwards down, good find from Tabson, and Smooya got Zeus. So 2 picks, 1 in Banana, 1 top middle. The map is theirs.
Nice opening picks here, fantastic. Smooya getting Zeus at the top of middle. I believe he was by Arch side. He's actually at the top of quad. So now, they've got plenty of time here. They're going to bleed out any sort of grenades the CTs have at this point. They've got a 5-on-3. It'd be an absolute disaster to give this one up, and it looks like NaVi are going to put all their eggs in the B bomb site basket, because the idea is here, they come towards B, sure, we'll give it a go. It's a tight choke point. We'll see if we can hold them off. If they do go plant A, we'll let them have it. We'll save again. Beer, the swerve is big. Want to try and get mid-control and realize there's no one there. There's no presence whatsoever. It looks like they will be heading towards A. So they've called this perfectly.
Another round therefore, but with 3 players staying up and that op still held for Simple. It's going to be a tough order still. The battle against NaVi, who in saving these weapons and staying efficient get a second round bonus. They'll be onto a third even if they get whittled down in the next round. Tabson knows that is exactly the case, and he'll go see if he can at least pull some more guns away and force some investment out of their hands. Simple is well ready for that.
That will probably be the signal not to go hunting for them, considering Simple's got such a strong position with the AWP. It will be the second round in a row, and Big do manage to keep 4 players alive. Could have been 5, but Tabson did go hunting for a frag. Another 3 players to hold on to their weapons here on the NaVi side. Just making sure they keep the money strong here. It is a CD-sided map. It was a nice start from NaVi, but Big looking strong in the last couple. Smooya with another frag on his second, but both of them have had amazing amounts of impact. They managed to open the A-bomb side before, and now he completely cleared out middle. Along with that initial kill towards the top of B. That's when they got the 5-on-3, went very slowly. Capitalized upon the stack NaVi went for. And like we said, once the stack was incorrect, they just saved the weapons there. Another full buy for both teams.
Double Molotov that time, one from either side. Certainly can be stacked. Thompson will start to approach the top side of those stairs, but with smokes down, they aren't committed as of yet. Flashes. Mini 3-on-3 with Nex holding back. Tabson and Godby are on their own. He's outside of the smoke next. Simple's ready for it. Half wall sprayed and spammed. It's forced Edward off because he's down to 44 HP already. Simple, meanwhile, baited into it, gets one back, but Edward is found. Simple's still gonna hold, and he and Zeus together find Tabson.
Nice work by him. Gets in the 4 versus 3, drops the smoke, pushes them back towards the A site. Smooya's already made his way towards the top of middle, though. He's actually getting close towards the arch. Zeus is gonna be there, and he'll take him down once again. He's bullying him on that side of the map. And Smooya might get another. He actually hits the shot on Electronic, but can't finish it off. Went for the Glock. That was a little bit of a misplay, as Flamey now could finish it here with a 3K. He certainly does. Absolutely fantastic stuff by him. AWP working out nicely. He's got 8 kills so far. He's actually not died at all. He's on 8-0 after all those saves. It was Simple, though, that got them in that position, because those kills and attempts to get in towards the B site, he locked them out of the half wall. His teammate went down, shoved them towards A with the smoke, and Flame and Electronic go to town. Smooya with a nice pick towards the arch side, but that's all they found.
Again, they start off with the 3-man toward B. This, although one is passive, it's Zeus. You can't, remember going back to the previous iteration of Inferno, you can't throw the smoke from CT that goes deep, so you kind of have to put the 3rd guy toward Ruins, but they've been electing to leave him there for a little bit longer. If this starts to be something Big pick up on, maybe they can exploit A early. Maybe they can catch off Arch. We know Godby very much likes to approach the B site by way of going through CT spawn. If he can catch that rotation heading the other direction, could be something in it. This time they'll play far more passive, suggested by the boost of Edward toward new box.
And that's great, because now you've put the fear of God in them at the top of Banana. They have to use most of their utility to even get this position. But you've saved all yours, you've got a different passive hold now. That's why you want to be changing things up. You don't want to be aggressive every round, you don't want to be passive every round. You want a mixture of both. As grenades start to rain in.
Yeah, more proof that this is Zeus versus Godby in many ways.
Yeah. The tactical mind games are out in full force. Smooya couldn't get a pick from this angle before. Let's see if he can do it this time.
Wasn't spotted there either, so they may not expect it. Still, though, has to be cautious of the fact that a Molotov has gone down. He's looking for a gap in the smoke. Doesn't want to overextend at this point and go any further because his teammates are locked out. Next, taking substantial damage as well from the Flames. Flamey goes out. Oh, no! Big miss. Godby gets away. And now they've got Arch. This is where they like to take advantage of things. Tabson was already there, and Flamey had no idea. So not only the miss, but gives up position, forced onto Electronic. He's inside of the pit, but Zeus to cover off toward exactly where they're both looking now. Above the smoke. If he catches Tizian dropping down, it gives Electronic control. He can jump up from the bike toward Graveyard, but he's already in the grave. Put down immediately. Tizian, Tabson, Smooya, all with kills. Round surely goes to Big.
Absolutely. Really nice work there tabseN getting it done. They got a player in towards that arch position. And as soon as flamie missed that, I would say pretty reachable shot by his standards. It was a bit of a whiff. He went down, tabseN capitalized upon it, gets the first in library, and completely cracks open that A site. It all falls apart, and money starts to ensue as well for NaVi, 4-3. 5,500 is the most they have. That's on flamie. Everyone else hovering around 3. So it looks like they'll take the partial buy here. Electronic will signify that first with the CZ Kevlar combo. Edward of a 5-7. We are seeing, oh, 2 of the players, Simple and Edward of 5-7. So there we go. It was dropped by flamie.
Pistols only for NaVi. Big. Again, at least early on, showing signs that they've got control of the economy. Bounce nade. Really tickles Simple. Drop down actually in between oranges 1 and 2, and he's up above, so as those nades do not penetrate objects, doesn't do much damage. Smokes out once more. Contact toward the site. Simple, Edward, and flamie triangulating their position. Electronic is pushed up inside of the apartments. Could potentially catch off Tizian. They are heading back in that direction. If he could have done so sooner and gotten a gun for it, maybe he had a chance. Looking likely that he will just be overrun at this point in time. They have not made a lot of noise either, but with the utility now gone on B, they certainly are aware that it's possible they'll head toward A. They've rotated accordingly. That strengthens Electronic's position. Still not detected, but here comes Tizian walking down the hall just behind him. Does he go far enough? He doesn't. He checked the apartment's hall rather than going all the way. Now Electronic does get that gun. Ball not yet planted. Electronic only gets one more. No! Edward takes out Electronic, so he got the kill, but the team kill going the other way takes the gun back. Still tabseN has to get to Edward as there's 10 seconds left. Simple. He can't quite commit to denying the bomb plant, but with tabseN so low, and it's very, very slight gap in this moment. I think that's going to go against. Oh, I thought he might if he wasn't moving.
Simple all tabbed. I'm telling you now, something happened there.
There's no, yeah, because he, that's interesting. I mean, obviously nothing can be done of it at this point. He is still in the round and still moving at this state, but he didn't even try to go for tabseN denying the bomb plant, and then he's stuck in the smoke after.
I'd be focused on his screen. He could see tabseN. He had a clear shot on him. He wasn't moving. He was completely stuck, and then he kind of lagged slightly. Then he came back into play. So he might have got that first kill on tabseN and had a 1 versus 1. We'll see if he says anything at the end of this round.
Well, either way, whether or not he found that kill, it didn't guarantee the round. The bomb was already down. 4-4, big pullback once again. They will have guns on the CT side, already purchased, and they are calling a timeout. And whether or not that'll be technical or tactical, yet to be determined. Looks like it's going to be tactical because it's charged on their, at least on the graphic, on their side.
NaVi almost stealed the round away with the partial buy there. Not quite finding the luck required. They will be heading into round number 9 here. There is a buy available for NaVi, but it's not the best. Zeus has gone for the MP9 and Edward on the MP7. They have got an AWP in the hands of flamie. He seems to be the one focusing mainly on the AWP here. Trying to look at the M4, Simple yet to buy as the unpause comes in.
Go back into it, and already they're up alt middle. 2 SMGs on the CT side of things. Interesting observation. It was tactical indeed, so Simple feels violated. They'll get underway. No choice otherwise. Electronic has been holding by the pit on the railing pretty much every single round. They've yet to go through the doorway and challenge him, though, because every time he's played there, he's been forced off it earlier by smokes and the fact that they haven't controlled quad. Playing very passive on the A site. We haven't seen any real challenge toward the arch. I think that's mostly due to the fact that they're running the 3 players default toward B to contest banana, and then by the time they rotate, they can't actually get the op in position.
Less than a minute remaining. Big though with mid-control. Tabson and Smooya have the bomb towards the B side of the map, and Edward is there alone. Orp in the hands of Flaming. Remember, this is a difficult buy. NaVi don't have everything they need. Edward still has his smoke, but he's got 5 players heading towards his position. There's no way he can hold this off. He needs to be dropping his smoke like right now. Still got it.
Just trying to play the mind game.
He needs to drop it now. Yeah. There we go.
Better late than never. Better late than soon if he can get away with it before it's too late. He's trying to go almost the same approach as Big. He's playing his own smoke. He's got a gap. Zeus, he's able to get the first kill. Edward's still not giving himself up. Now he fires and they stomp over each other, but Simple's back in. It's all traded. Tizian and Tabson with kills on the big side, and that's going to give them the bomb plant. 9 seconds, and they go safe side left, not default. Smoke down meant Flamey couldn't get the angle with the AWP. There's 2 of them up, 1 on either side, and Smooya going to be holding aggressively with his toward the ruins as Tabson then charged with new box.
There are no kits available, and they do not have much to work with it at all. Tabson will get the first shot. Electronic brings it down to the 1 versus 1. Smooya nails the shot, though. And I'm sorry, Edward had that one in the palm of his hands. He might not have had much to work with. That smoke going down the position he got into. He needed at least 1 kill. He had a 3 there. He misfired, and they knew exactly where he was, and he got nothing. It was a scrappy round, but now Big have the lead on the T side. 5-4. CZ's P250s, and looks like probably a partial buy from the CTs here. As they start to fall apart, lovely shot from Smooya to finish things off there. Get into round number 10. So they have got a bit of utility here. 4 smokes and upgraded pistols. They'll try and treat this like a gun round.
Bit optimistic with the nades.
Indeed.
You're right in saying they'll try and treat it like a gun round. The 4 smokes. When do they deploy them? Contact from Tabson and Gobby. First one goes down now. They try and peek before it blooms, but Tabson gets the lineup and Simple's head gets removed. Point as well. Tabson and Tizian sitting back, getting ready for the push. Needs to be watching his right side. He's making noise that allows Electronic to slide all the way up. So try and get the AK as well. It did fall off the bridge. He'll jump down and chase it. Meanwhile, bomb gets planted on B. Into a 6th round. On T side, Inferno having bested phase on it yesterday as well. Good find on Electronic. Won't be able to get Flamey, but Electronic was the one that had the AK, so that was important. Flamey wants to try and get back to it. They know where he is. He should fall next as well. Do what he can. 6-4.
There we go. Big, decent lead here now. Already have had a successful T side. Money for NaVi has been very turbulent indeed. Just to note, Edward 2 and 7, Zeus 3, and Tabson's got 15 frags after 10 rounds of play. He is looking incredibly sharp right now. Now, back up on their feet, was looking a little bit desperate at the initial point when they were 4-1 down, but brought it right back. Flashes going in, and it will be Smooya completely blind.
Oh, yes! How does he pull it back? It was Gomby. That's how he took down Flamey and saves his teammate Smooya, who gets out of there when he absolutely was dead to rights. Hero play from Gomby.
Yeah.
Oh, captain, my captain.
It's going to be now 4-4. There is a kit available, but only 2 smokes now for NaVi. Still a minute and 20 of play here. Tabson, he's been unbelievably good, working towards the arch. And we're going to be there. You can see the setup now of Zeus towards the graveyard. His teammate Simple on side of a UMP. Really is not ideal on that side of the map, as mid-control officially granted to the German squad. They'll throw that smoke towards the library. Simple and Zeus need to work perfectly in tandem here as they make a bold call. Everyone towards the A side. All 4 players are coming over. Left B open.
It's bold, but it's, as we know, little do they do, it's correct. Smooya again going to try and take advantage of this angle. Great spot to spot out. Zeus is in graveyard. The problem is he still controls the angle. Exactly that. Goes up, nails it, and falls back down into the stairwell. Electronic at Cubby. Zeus again. They can't even flush him from that position. There's too much support, too many off angles. Due to the rotations, and NaVi get one back on the board, we go 6-5.
Nice round from Zeus, perfectly played. You could see Smooya anticipated that position, maybe had an inkling that Zeus would be there, but the moment he looks away from it, that's when Zeus picks and ends up getting 3 kills. It was a difficult round for NaVi, but now they've managed to salvage some AKs, their money's a lot more stable, and still don't have the lead, but it was a much better round. We'll see what happens here in round number 12. It's going to be an AWP available for Smooya, of course. He's currently set up 7 kills as we see Electronic now inside the apartments, trying for initial grenade. And Smooya, this is an aggressive position with the AWP, straight into the boiler room.
Smooya flashed as well, couldn't, or just barely. I was going to say couldn't spot Flame. He didn't go far enough, but makes up for it. Their opening pick, T-side off as well. So now Smooya is starting to impress me, not only with how much contribution he has and impact he has in holding certain angles. You have to be assertive. Great nade, Electronic. Great nade. You get to be assertive on the T side of Inferno, and he's done exactly that.
It was absolutely brilliant, really. It's going to be Simple holding it towards the logs. Only good for one. That's great news for Big. If Simple is shut down, betrayed, that's absolutely fine. Zeus rotates in, trying to buy Edward a little bit more time. Edward has been struggling, to say the least, at the B bomb site. He has an AK, but that's pretty much it. He'll hold towards new boxes. And it's not exactly the position that's ideal for getting multiple spray downs. We'll see whether he can be backed up by Zeus. He's had a good couple of rounds now, 3-on-3.
Behind new box still, though, has not been spotted. And bomb will not be planted. 34 seconds. Edward times it. So too will he time to allow Zeus back in the site. How is Smooya alive in this? AWP, give him a chance, boys. Dear God, tempting fate, are we?
Wow. Well, that's Zeus. He's had a really good showing those last 2. That was absolutely brilliant by him. Rotates in towards CT spawn, takes all the attention away from Edward. They didn't even check the new boxes were going for a plant. They had 30 seconds on the clock. That was a little bit baffling. They assumed that the B side was open. Godbeaters runs to the default plant spot, thinking Zeus would be the only threat, but it was absolutely incorrect. Presumably they know that Edward is the B player. He was still alive. There's... Is that eliminating himself?
That was.
We're looking at, I missed the beginning of it. There we go.
I think in World Cup terms, they'd call that an own goal.
Yep, possibly. On 13. I think maybe a team kill would be the own goal.
Yeah, I was thinking that's... Just don't apply logic, just go with it.
And it is going to be an eco now for Big. And we'll see no armor and no nades for now. 6-6. NaVi pulling it back with 2 rounds in a row. Basically, thanks to Zeus, he's had some great play. Or for Flamey again, it's interesting that it's not Simple, at least on this map, has got the main focus on the AWP. He usually does, absolutely, on Inferno. The Flamey's had it more often than not.
Just jumps across the top, middle Flamey's already there with the AWP. Kinds the shot on Godby. Aggressive with the pistols, and Zeus, knowing that they had, peeks out from the top mid to try and pinch them in, does further damage. Electronic might now finally get to use this balcony position. I thought he was going to drop off it as soon as I pointed out, but he's been starting there every single round. This time he'll dispose of Smooya. Very smartly stepped on that last pixel that he had to work with. Zeus looking for a second, he'll get it. NaVi take back the lead at 7-6. All 3 maps prior have ended at 8-7 at the half. Keep that in mind.
You're absolutely right. 8-7 has been the scoreline. Nothing really separating these 2 teams, at least in the first halves. Money back on track, but it's not amazing. Smooya won't have that impactful AWP to work with here. He'll have a Galil. A little bit of a somber one, as he's been so good at opening up bomb sites for them. 7-6, NaVi looking to lock in the half victory here. AWP still in the hands of Flamey, but they have got some AKs now. Simple with an AK. It's very, very fun to watch, and there's a decent grenade from Zeus. Should do some considerable damage, not as much as I thought. Takes next down to 79.
Backs off. Most of that smoke at bottom banana is due to expire. position to throw the new flash to work. Not super effective, but it does cover off an alternate angle that previously was harder to hit. Covers off behind the broken wall to some extent. Electronics forward up that, couldn't find the first shot. Now he's blinded, smokes down. Good damage done, but left in the open when Tizian arrives. Taps in. Oh no, Gabi. That's the own goal, Henry, as he takes out next, but he makes up for it. Still though, it leaves Smooya. His Gob now found by Edward. It's in a one-on-one, 12 HP, and Smooya, he's got to recover. He's got the Galil. He could still work this, 12 HP only, just needs the one shot, but he's got to find the angle, and Edward's buying time. There's plenty of it to work with, though, and Smooya slows things down to bring it 7-7, which guarantees another 8-7 half.
Brilliant play from Smooya there, knew what he had to do. Edward made things very uncomfortable there, but nice spray down from the library area to get 2 players. But Smooya gets the information that they have dinked Edward towards the end. He knows exactly where he's positioned on that middle box on the site, and just is a matter of time before he got the kill. There's no doubt in my mind he wasn't going to win that round. And we're going to number 15 here. Big might be able to steal the half away at the final hurdle. Round 15 coming through. They've got 2 Mac 10s. Interesting. Came down to the 1 versus 1, so might not been ideal. They're going to straight up rush B with Mac 10s. Is this the play that really is going to do it for them? Edward in that same position, let him down before, but Simple's in the no-scopes now. Edward struggling again. He really does need to get on top of that.
More so because Simple's forced to rotate. No further utility, though, and that gives him a free shot to Smooya. If Edward failed, and they had already had that covered off.
We'll see.
Oh my. Plant comes in. Simple! Bye-bye, Tizian! Cuts him apart, and Flamey shuts it down. He is a brainiac, I swear. Genius from Simple, and it's now 8-7 for NaVi.
Definitely are some NaVi fans down there at the front. But great work by Simple to finish things off. Almost playing that bomb site by himself at times. Edward really was struggling, but he got it done. And it will be 8-7 in favor of the team who are on 2 maps, need 1 more. It's not the best CT half, but they still win it. They can get the pistol here in the second. There's absolutely a chance it could be all over here on Inferno. Big have been great in their pistol rounds, though. We'll see whether they can find this one. Godby purchases a CZ. This little light show has been brought to you by the lovely Vodafone.
It certainly has, and our observing brought to you in this map by Sapphire. Prius as well. Previous, spinning back and forth. So pistol underway. Usually we keep track of the pistols for obvious reasons of economic advantage, but it's been fairly even, mostly I think going the way of Big as of late, but nonetheless failed to start it off in this map with success. If they don't this time, they might have bigger problems. Good play from Taps now. He did get the opening kill in the first pistol on this map as well. Remember, it was turned around by none other than Electronic.
Yes, indeed. That's USP sequence he had was absolutely beautiful. But they have got library control, surprisingly. Smooya rotates in, and Tizian will be dropped. Smooya gets 1. Pull back now. They're trying to remove players on the A site. Electronic's doing a great job at that. Next now alone, and now removed. 3 versus 2. It has swung around. 1 player remains. Tabson. He is an amazing CS player, but does he have it in him to even get close to this one? He's got to get past Electronic first. He starts to swing towards the arch side. Down he goes. Well recovered by NaVi. 1 step closer to the trophy.
And a big step. Second half pistol T side. Extra emphasis on first gun for Big if they want to pull this back. You get down 5-0 to start off this half. I'm not sure you'll ever recover. And even then, you've got to be efficient in each and every round if you want to. So 2 Mac 10s brought out, Zeus and Electronic to hold them. Look, either way, Big has shown consistency enough in this event to prove to me that we might have another contender on the world stage. And how welcome that would be right now.
It is going to be the eco from Big. Didn't go for the force buy here. 3 players on the default weaponry. Just 1 CZ, which is now on 7 HP. That's Smooya, and Godby with an HE P250 combo. You would assume this is a bit of a gimme round for NaVi, but stranger things have happened. They haven't exactly looked amazing on their anti-ecos.
Tapson can't make it work. Edward disposes of him over top of the Vespa, climbs the wall. Hoping it could be sneaky and catch them off into where they knew they were there. Meanwhile, Zeus is going to farm up a kill. I'm going to say some cash. Doesn't quite get that far. Good damage, but now it's Electronic's turn to collect, and they'll force them back toward Flamey. So 10 rounds now for NaVi. They hit double digits first, and in doing so, still have a round that they can work with against pistols because the CTs won't have any options.
Absolutely. Felico on the cards now for big. Around $3,000 per player. They can get PT50s if they really want to, or HE grenades. We'll see which way they're inclined.
Little stat brought up on the board there. He's won more than 50% of the rounds on T side on Inferno and Cologne, so this certainly is the real test for big. Next, nades, everyone, but they're all sprayed down. Their nades can do damage. Posthumously, but it's the AK that does all of the damage. Electronic takes out Nex, and Smooya to find 5. I'm not thinking likely. P250. On toward him. Might get one if they get close enough that he can punch them essentially with the gun in the face. The headshot kill. There's the first, but as always was going to be traded. 11-7 pressure on for big.
Absolutely, a few rounds away now from the trophy. NaVi need to stay composed. We've got a double orb set up against them here. tabseN and Smooya. It's been a bit of a staple for them. Instrumental in their success, I would say. tabseN on 20 kills right now, Smooya on 13. And the problem is we've had Nex having such an amazing tournament, Matt. He's currently on 4 kills, 15 deaths. Godby 3, Tizian 4. The scoreline's recoverable, but they need to come online right now. It'll be disappointing to finish things off. The way Nex has been playing to finish on 4 kills in the map, and he's been dropping close to 40 and everything else.
Quick check from Tizian. Simple and Flamey, Edward, all already inside of the apartments, and they look like they're just gonna go. Get that feeling based on how far forward they already are. Flashes out, here it is, Flamey's in, Nex wasn't even ready for it. They'll check the pit, they haven't spotted Godby yet, he manages only 1 kill because they wrap around quad, the pace again from NaVi.
Might as well save now, you've got double orbs in this retake, that ain't happening. No kits, double orbs, you're just gonna have to save this one, boys. It's another difficult round to swallow, but a nice execution there. Pretty standard stuff from NaVi, they get the default going, they smoke towards the library, in between the site and the library area.
That scoreboard says a lot.
Indeed, that's what I was talking about. That paints a much better picture than my words ever could. You see Nex, Godby and Tizian. Tizian's also had an amazing tournament, a player we haven't really discussed before, never really played top level CS, and he's had a great tournament with 4 and 14, 4 kills, the 3 of those guys, and it's just tabseN and Smooya keeping the dream alive here, but it's slowly but surely dwindling away. If the bomb is confirmed to go off, there'll be no antics here, and they will save the double orb setup at Nex and Godby. Couldn't hold them off. There will be money to buy, though, saving those 3 weapons. Similar situation to NaVi found themselves in the first half, so do whatever they can here. With 1 player going down in the previous round, they could purchase the orb themselves on the NaVi side, but sticking with the 5 rifles for now. Keep the money nice and strong. They've got 10K on Flamey and Edward. 7,000 electronics, so plenty of cash to go around for a few rounds here. And that's if they start losing.
Yeah, I mean, that's again why the pressure was so, I guess, heavy, is a word for it, against big in the last round. If you're gonna lose that first pistol and go down 12-7, as well as the first gun, and to put yourself in that position, these ops are essential, but you're making it an uphill battle, not only for yourself, but in the fact that they start to get efficient and build up their bank.
Smooya does hit the first shot, takes Zeus down to 16 HP, makes him very vulnerable, but they're swinging back towards the A side. Another fast commitment, they found the pistol player. Flamey cracks open the A side, but they've got a lot more work to do here. tabseN, only option to go for the no-scope there, Matt, and they've got to save again.
I thought he was actually going to get a chance to get that shot off. It was definitely on point, but accuracy, not important if the bullet never arrives. You're right, they have to save this again. 1 op and an M4.
Exact same strategy deployed there, and it worked. And we discussed this throughout the tournament. I think they've touched it on the desk as well. Sometimes the strategy works significantly well. There's no problem at all doing it again in the next round. They couldn't hold off in the first. Why would they in the second? And then you bait them into adjusting to it. Then you start going to somewhere else. It's quite an interesting idea. The 4 players again survive for NaVi. I was about to say 3 for the CTs, but Nex has given himself up. And now it's just the M4 and the Orb trying to survive at the next round. You can feel The hype in the room slowing down. It feels like NaVi are running away with this one. Big just don't seem to have the response here. Not a single round posted in the second half yet. Still recoverable. It's the CT side, remember, but they are looking quite flat. 3 players can't frag at all. We're 21 rounds deep, and 3 of the big players have 4 kills apiece.
And still rallying behind what has been an epic and historic run from the German squad. Big after changes, after struggles. Only one event last year they really highlighted it, and that was Krakow.
Whatever happens here, Matt, they can hold their heads high. This has been absolutely phenomenal. The fact they got to the playoffs, everyone was ecstatic about. Now in the grand final, holding their own, it's been fantastic for them and building blocks of the future as Smooya looks to be assertive here, but it might cost him their lives. He'll have to fall back, but he has got a P250. He didn't go to the corner. He might be punished for this, gets away with it.
I don't know about that. Oh, just barely. Twice he got around the corner in time. Meanwhile, Flamey's found Tapson. So while all that went on, as exciting as it was, a more important kill perhaps on the opposite side. Good find from Gabi, falls off. Does he get caught again with an aid? Manages somehow to get the gun redeployed and gets Edward down as it's all on Simple. He's wrapped in, catches Gabi in the pit. Accidental jump surely, and they've got to rotate back.
They're both there towards B, and they're up against the final boss of Counter-Strike. He's got utility to buy himself some time, gets in towards the pit. They don't have a kit here, Matt, but they do have the incendiary. I'm all in on Simple. Looks like he's winning this one.
He's topped every leaderboard throughout the year. Ratings, kill records, highlight reels. The one thing he doesn't have is a championship, and he wants one desperately. He's giving himself a chance for it now as he shuts down Smooya. Next is next! And he's got that too! 2 rounds to go, and he'll have that last final check mark for the year as he wants one big name for NaVi.
What a sick clutch that was. This is how perfect was that. He didn't even panic when the incendiary landed on him. He knows he's got a 3-second window as he's flying in to try and find a kill. Nails that, and there's nothing that Next could do it towards the end. Perfect kill on Smooya. In his way to it. He knows he's won this round now. Headshot, of course. Next can't do anything about it. Brilliant play. And there's the reaction. They know they're 1 step away now from finding absolute glory here in Cologne. Grenades towards the corner of Smooya. They don't fully connect. He's got the AWP once again. So has Tapson. The only 2 players fragging have the AWPs. Smooya backed up, and Zeus preempts Tizian's position. He just can't get into this game whatsoever. On the end of the fishing line for Smooya, Tizian will go down, and it's up to him to recover the situation now. There it is. Much better. Takes down Simple as well.
In. Good hold, better reaction, swings to find Edward, goes for a third, and Flamey nowhere to go but down. 6 feet as Zeus is blinded up, and Gabi's utility bails him once more. They get another round, they'll hold on.
There it is, that's really fantastic from Tapson. They lost the first couple of picks there, but he holds his nerve, looked calm as ever. No doubt in his mind he wasn't hitting those shots.
Technical pause. Called by Big this time.
Technical pause, so it
might be.
Yeah,
looks like here. Something sound related, yeah.
Wow, apparently he had no sound for 3 kills there. That's not bad. Maybe just TeamSpeak or something like that. That's what it normally is. As NaVi, like we said before, have plenty of cash here. 2 rounds away to remain crowned champions here at ESL One Cologne 2018. It's a long walk down to the trophy in the middle, but my God, is it worth it?
Back. Very, very fast to find Edward. Slow it down just to show you how accurate he was onto Edward as well. Flamey as well, rather. Bomb intentionally left back toward T-stairs. Still, though, NaVi have so much money. Tizian half wall flashed out, looks for the immediate shot, does collect Zeus. It was almost a stray bullet at that point as he committed to running and gunning with an M4 of all weapons. Might still be interested in the fight and exchange, but he'll back off. They'll put Smooya in toward Banana to anchor AWP. He spots one, immediately tries to swing off and get away. He's going to have to. That calls for the rotation of the rifles to get back over with him because they push him off.
First kill has been found. Tizian. It's his fifth. Kill B. They've been so good with the utility here. Can he hold them off a little bit longer? It's going to take a pretty much perfect game from this point. A big to stand a chance, 14-8. Still with the man advantage here, 45 seconds on the clock. NaVi deciding what to do with this round. We've got two smokes and a Molotov. Suggests go towards B. A Molotov new boxes, smoke towards spawn and coffins. The problem is they don't have a flashbang map. So how they manage to break into the site, it's going to be very interesting indeed. Smoothie's there with the AWP, and that's a problem. They can't flash him off the position. They're going to smoke in front of the site. A little bit of an interesting change of focus on spawn.
Tizian overrun. Edward, oh, not only did he find that kill, he opened up the space for Electronic. He pushed immediately through to spawn, but Smooya's still inside of the site. Easy dispatch of Edward. Now he has to watch over the Rabbit Ruins. Electronic slides under the gun. 7 seconds, they just barely get on the plant. Smooya nearly does enough. And Tabson pull it back.
He's got to move faster than this. The bomb is ticking away at considerable pace now. Tabson with the AWP. They've got to take down the two hardest hitting players on NaVi right now, Simple and Electronic. The mighty duo waiting to get NaVi to championship point now. They've got to go. They've been way too slow with this big. They finally commit, but how do they get 2 kills and then defuse the bomb? It doesn't look like it's going to be happening. It comes down to the 1 versus 1, and it's Electronic to find them the winning round. 1 more to go, and money is completely broken there, Matt. They've got around $2,000 per player. This should be it. It's been one historic run here, a fairy tale of sorts for Big. And it's going to the point where it feels like reality might hit, security, and they won't be able to close it out.
With 1 to go, security's already lining the path toward the trophy for NaVi. Big are hoping they'll never get a chance to walk it on that side of the stage. But that means winning 7 in a row just to force out overtime, and that means doing it with dualies for next. MP7 for Tabson. That's the best of the weapons. The MP7, yeah. Less so than the dualies, just to clarify.
They've actually bought quite a lot of dualies, believe it or not. I think it's like 20 of them Big have bought for the tournament, so.
I think between them and Ents.
Yeah, that's right, that's exactly it. So here we go. Potentially the final round, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see if Big have got anything left in the tank. It would take something monumental at this point to hold off a fully equipped NaVi with just pistols and an MP7. But they'll give it their best shot. They've got 2 players in the B side, and they've got 5 very angry NaVi players coming their way. Electronic, front of the pack. Fantastic tournament from him so far. Tizian pushes through the smoke, didn't find the kill, and he'll be taken down.
From Zeus, Electronic, not much left in it now for Big. They have to work back through smoke. They have to take down a boosted player in Simple, who's done massive damage, but yet to find a kill. He will do so now. Just next, and Gob B, a heroic run, but the clock strikes midnight, and the story might be over. It's all Gob B. He gets 1 kill. It's to salvation at this point. Makes it another, but it's all done. Surely, as they wrap around, Electronic fittingly finds the last kill. 16-8, NaVi will pick up finally a trophy they've been waiting for all year. And credit to Big in this incredible arena. They made it interesting.
2017 was a questionable year for NaVi. Mainly full of disappointment. Electronic was brought in to find them more success. He brought more firepower, and it seems to be coming together now. A great tournament from all the players. Simple, got to be the MVP, absolutely. Top of the charts pretty much every single game. They gave away a map to Big, and just to talk about the Germans, they can keep their heads held very high. It's been a phenomenal run, historic. And I'm sure it's the beginning of something great for them as well.
Yeah, and you could point out so many stories for them. One of them has to be Smooya. Debut on an international stage this large. NaVi. Simple, you said it has to be the MVP. He was MVP of Star Ladder when they were runner-up. He said he didn't matter. He said all he cared about was the trophy. Maybe this time, if he gets the award, He'll be more pleased with it, more accepting of it, but he's got to thank his teammates. They showed up in this event, none more so than Electronic. As they take the walk toward the trophy, the Kings of Cologne, the Cathedral has their gods, divine deities. ESL One Cologne has their champions. For the first time in 2018, none more deserving, NaVi have won in Cologne!
Absolutely unbelievable. A stacked tournament. Every big name in Counter-Strike Global Offensive gathered here in the Lanxess. And it's none other than the best from the CIS, NaVi! There's not many trophies in their cabinet, certainly not in their star simples. But this is huge. A monumental step forward in their team's history. ESL One Cologne. Every team worth their salt was here, and it's NaVi to lift the trophy. Lanxess putting their hands together for them. It's not the team they wanted to see lift the trophy, but they can appreciate good Counter-Strike when they see it. And OJ does look like he has a champion on that stage.
I do indeed, Alex, thank you very much. Simple, the biggest win of your career so far. How does it feel?
I feel great, but first of all I want to say Smooya! Smooya!
That is an amazing thing to do, considering you just played a massive hometown team. But talk me through this win for yourselves and for NaVi.
I don't know, I'm a bit speechless right now because it's our first big win against the all great teams, and yeah, it's pretty hard to talk about my emotions right now, but everything what I want to say is that thanks crowd, everyone who came today, everyone who cheered for Big or NaVi, thank you guys. Without you, I wouldn't get that emotions.
How do you stop this win here in ESL One Cologne? How do you stop it just being a one-off thing? How would you continue bringing NaVi up to this top level, where you have been in the past, where you can be again?
We're gonna still practice as much as possible. We're gonna spend all our life in this game. We're gonna try to become better every time. We're not done yet. That's not finished for us.
And another question about yourself. I asked you this during the semi-finals. Everyone talks about you as the #1 player in the world. There's no argument about that whatsoever. I asked you if you believed you were the best player in the world. You said, not yet. How about now?
I believe.
He believes. Put your hands together for a fabulous champion. I'd like you to sign the count once more. It's simple, and they are the champions of ESL One Cologne 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, it's NaVi!
Electronic, Simple, Flamey, Edward, and Zeus. Your ESL One Cologne champions. They don't get that many of these, Yanko, and this one is a little bit of a bookmark for what could be quite the run in Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Absolutely, they've been so close so many times, you know, lifting trophies at some smaller tournaments. They've had the whole roster change drama. Finally, they came out of that even stronger. Simple, the best player in the world. Electronic playing like a top 3 player in the world as well, and they finally managed to lift a trophy with all the world's best teams in attendance.
And all the players doing what they're supposed to as well, Chad. Time's gone where we would list a name that didn't quite perform up to scratch. Electronic, Flamey, Simple, the hard hitters, and the experience of Edward and Zeus.
It all clicked here in Cologne for these guys, and I think if they can continue this going forward, it's a three-horse race for the top teams in the world right now, along the lines of FaZe Clan and Astralis, who they did topple Astralis here in this arena, and the fashion in which they did it, they showed that this team, who we all thought were infallible, they can bleed, and just the force buys, the constant pressure, they're changing the way the game's being played at the moment, and they're doing it in a more strategical manner. It isn't just brawl, it's use that weaponry, it's use your star players, and it's make every round count, and that's something that NaVi have brought to us here in Cologne.
is breathtaking. Counter-Strike Global Offensive continues to impress. A tweet coming in from ex-NaVi member Seized, suggesting that Natus Vincere era is upon us. They beat Astralis. Those were the top contender for said era. Of course, the Intel Grand Slam now does go to none other than NaVi. They'll have their first notch of the necessary 4.
And they will be in Stockholm for DreamHack Masters and ESL One New York. So there's 2 more chances for them in quick succession. We obviously have to pedal forward a couple of months here, but if they can continue this form, they're definitely up for contention now, and they've made the definite stamp in the top 3. It was quite clear before it was Astralis and FaZe, but now NaVi are up there in the argument for who can be and who will be the most consistent team in the world for 2018.
It is what we wanted, Yanko. We wanted more teams to step up to the plate. You know, we've said it multiple times. There has to be someone to topple Astralis to show that there can be more resistance. It turns out NaVi are more than capable.
Yeah, and they did it step by step, right? Winning Star Series, then winning Shanghai, and then in the end, after all of that, winning ESL One Cologne, culminating this sort of a run that they've had. And I think for NaVi it's going to be very exciting after the player break when the second part of the season starts, and obviously the major and all of that. But you need to give a shout out to Big, right? What they've managed to do, you know, the opponents that they've been able to beat along the way. First you have the 2-time ESL One Cologne champions in MIBR, the Brazilians, then taking down G2 and FaZe, who everyone expected them to be in the grand final against NaVi. I think they ran out of steam a little bit when they came to the grand final, unfortunately, but we talk about Big as this structured team that, you know, Bob B needs his preparation, everything. They've only been together for a month, and this is what they were able to do, sure, in front of the home crowd, but you can tell the improvements and some of the signs from this Big squad. So they don't have any major tournaments ahead of them in the near future, so they can just focus on getting even better, grinding the game out and being ready for that second half of the year.
And every event, you know, we describe as experience. This is quite a special level of experience they've just had over the course of this week, Chad.
Yeah, definitely something they won't forget, right? A story of you telling your grandkids as you're sitting in a rocking chair one day, especially Smooya here having, you know, Germans chanting his name from the stands. So it's like, even though they're going to be heartbroken right now, they definitely tested NaVi. They pushed them in a lot of ways, and they showed a good brand of Counter-Strike, and that's something which you can definitely walk out of this arena with your head held high. Not all fairy tales have a happy ending, unless you're a NaVi fan, Alex. And I think, you know, this year we definitely, throughout the tournament, Simple, my MVP, but in the finals, have to give an honorable mention here to Electronic and the plays that he was making. He was stepping up time and time again, and then even to close out that match on Inferno, just innovating on the fly, jumping through a smoke to city spawn and cracking open that bomb site.
Ironically, it's actually German fairy tales that tend to have a sad ending, tend to be those fables you've got to watch out for. But yes, very, very much still that Cinderella story. They get all the way to the Lanxess Arena and then continue to step out on that grand finals and show us just how much progress has been made in such a short space of time, as Yanko so rightly put. I'm sure there's a whole lot more big fans than there were at the start of this week.
Certainly. I think what was the most unexpected is how good they're going to be individually, right? The likes of Nex stepping up, Smooya as well, and, you know, Tabson being the star of the team. Tizian was doing great, and Bobby sometimes is the secondary operator, even on the T side, although we mostly credit the calling and the great team play to him. And you know that Big is a structured squad, but you didn't expect them to be this good, this fast, especially considering their performance in Brazil, right? So I think it's great. I think it's going to give them a lot of motivation to keep working hard for the future, and we might as well see a German team being a perennial playoff contender.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think a lot of people have learned a lot throughout this one, players, fans, and analysts alike. We have a lot to look forward to in 2018.
Might even give them an invite or two in the future.
Perhaps, indeed. A little birthday present from you to them. No, but either way, yes, lots of celebrations are going to be in order. I'm sure Cologne is going to be alive tonight with fans and players alike to celebrate what has been a fantastic tournament. ESL One Cologne 2018 concludes, Chad.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot at this event, and the big names coming into it, like Liquid and Mousesports, falling flat. Very disappointing from them. NIP, I think, can join those ranks. Surprise once again from teams that we weren't expecting anything from, and showing a good face in this tournament. Big, obviously, making it all the way to the grand final. MIBR, potential roster changes ahead of these guys as they still look to not click as a unit. G2, very high highs, very low lows. Lots of storylines going forward, Alex.
And the majors around the corner. You know, this was a really big litmus test to see which teams are going to be the harder hitters. And we got our fair share of curveballs and excuse-me's throughout this 16-team bracket.
Certainly, but I think more than anything else, you know, Cologne has proven to be a really special event for me. It's the pinnacle of the circuit when it comes to CSGO. I feel like, you know, League of Legends has their stadium events in South Korea, Dota has the key arena in Seattle, and we have Lanxess Arena in Cologne, right? And time again, you see some of these high-pressure situations, some teams faltering, other teams rising to the occasion, and I think it's because for everyone involved, this event truly feels special.
Yes. Dankeschön, Kuhn. You have been fantastic. Thank you very, very much for giving us the experience as well as, of course, being a part of it yourselves. And I think we should probably end it there. This has been